So right now I want to talk to you about sales. Now, sales is terrifying for a lot of people. There's a few people in the world who are really good at doing selling. Now there's a lot of people, there's three groups of people. There's people who don't like sales, they don't want to go there, they don't like being sold to. They're basically afraid of being sold to, and they're also afraid of selling. And they think that selling is actually a bad thing. Then there's people who want to be better at sales, and you know, they realize there's something to learn and that there's value in it, that how important being able to sell is, and they're not where they want to be with it. And then there's people who are really good at sales. And I guess you could say that, you know, of some of those people, there's people who are good at sales, but what they're doing is not really sales, it's more persuading people to buy stuff they don't really need. Yeah, so for me, that isn't really sales, that's manipulation. Yeah, so for me, sales is helping someone to have the trust to take a step to do something they wouldn't otherwise do. So two of my mentors, Jeff and Kane, refer not to someone being a closer. You know, like in sales speak, we often hear of people closing a deal, but they talk about the person who does that being an opener. Because what you're doing is opening to a new possibility. You see, so that's the person who helps you to open up. You know, it could be that you bought something that you never imagined you'd be able to use before. It could be that you buy a course where you're going to have you know, it could be you buy a skydiving experience where you're going to do something amazing that you never thought you'd do. Now, a great way to get started in sales, like I'm assuming you're someone who wants to be better at selling. Now listen, you may not have a business. If you've got a business, it's obvious you're going to need to sell something. No matter how good you are, you're still going to need to help people to have the trust to jump in and do what you're doing and actually support them in buying what you do, so they can join your tribe. Now, you may be someone who just has a regular job, you may be someone who has an exceptional job, and you may not think that you need to do sales. But let me say this to you. Anytime you want to get someone to change their behavior, there's an opportunity to sell to them. You know, say you want to persuade your friends to go to the movies with you. It's a sales exercise, you know, and it's about helping that person to find out how much fun it could be. So you could have the job of, you know, if you're going for a job interview, you got to sell yourself. Yeah, I'm not talking about trying to pretend you're something that you're not, but you got to help people to see the value that you have. And you know, the same kind of thing happens when you know, if you want to meet people, if you're a guy that wants to meet girls, again, you need to sell yourself. You need to let who you are be seen to that person. So any advice in sales, I have this test where I go, if you apply that analogy to dating and it makes sense, or picking up or whatever, or, you know, meeting girls, guys meeting girls that they like, then if it doesn't stand that test, then it's probably not valid advice. So the easiest way to get started in selling something is when you sell something that's free. So right now I'm selling to you. Did you know that? I am. And don't worry, I'm not going to whip out the credit card machine and tell you you have to pay me $350 and it's a one-time only offer and it's going to be gone tomorrow. No. What am I selling you on? I'm selling you on your true value. I'm selling you on the skill of learning to value yourself, to really acknowledge that the shining, beautiful human being that you are. And if you're watching this, then you probably are a little bit open to that. It still might be scary for you. But I'm selling you on the idea that you have a high value. I'm selling you the idea that you're awesome and you can do whatever you want to do in life. And that's what I'm doing. And you see, when you sell to people, you sell them ideas that they don't have to pay for, what you realize is that often people's resistance has nothing to do with money. Because I know that some of you will watch this and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's interesting, and nothing will change. And I also know that there's some of you who are watching this who'll really let my words in, and who'll really open up to a new way of being, and really something will click, and it'll just be the right time for you, and something will change, and you'll start to live your life differently, and you'll start to acknowledge more and more of your value as a human being. So it's obviously nothing to do with money. So when you're posting something on Facebook where you're putting yourself out there, you see, if you're sending out stuff on Facebook, if you're sending out newsletters, if you've got a business, when you're talking to people, if you're not selling to them, what are you really doing? If you're not sharing information that's going to help that person to change their life and have a better life, well, that's cool, you might just be hanging out. But if you never in your week spend any time trying to persuade someone to, well, not even trying to persuade, but showing someone that more is possible in life, then really, why are you even alive? Why do you even bother? Because life is about helping other people. And so what I'm saying to you right now is, when you send an email out, or whenever you communicate with someone, however you communicate with someone, try taking a risk. Try sharing something that it may be a message you've heard from someone else that you want to pass on. Better still, it could be something that you know to be true in your heart, or you found out is true for yourself. Give that message on. Have the courage, find the courage to share that message. And you know, it's the best way to learn how to sell, because you know, you got less invested in it. Like, I don't really care less if you know, of course I'd love to make a difference, but I really don't care if you stopped watching this 5 minutes ago because you thought it was more interesting to watch The Simpsons on TV, or if you're someone who's listening to every word and you're thinking, yeah, I want to make a change here. I don't really care, I have no investment, I'm not after your money right now. Maybe later you can pay me if you want to, but listen, it's the same in the dating world. Like, so what if you just, you know, if you want to meet more people, whether it's business networking or dating, what if you just practice going up and talking to people and asking them the time of, you know, for directions if you're feeling shy, or just talking without any agenda. You know, it's like the equivalent of wanting to close a sale is like wanting to get a relationship or take a girl to bed or something like that. So what if you just didn't need anything? What if you just had no agenda? What if you were just hanging out and talking to someone? What if you were just in that analogy, you know? What if you were talking to girls that you found, and what maybe girls talking to guys they find attractive too? And what if you were just doing that without needing anything? It's like you're selling something for free. There's no catch, there's nothing that you want, because the moment that there's money involved, then people's fear can get triggered off, and people can be afraid of you know, that you want to take advantage of them, that you want to, you know, use and abuse them. And so practice selling stuff for free. And you know, what are you going to sell? What's your message? And look, if you're still upset and offended by the S word, then maybe you need a little bit of a reframe, because for me, selling is helping another person to transform and have a different experience of life. So look, it can be scary. Right now I'm kind of sitting on the edge of this cliff. Hopefully I won't drop my phone, but you can see a little bit down there, the ocean's coming in, and yeah, it can be scary on the edge. And you know, selling can be like, whoa, I got to jump out there and hope I'll be okay. But when you sell something for free, it's like you're finding the little ladder. Like if you look over here, you can find there's a way down to take your first steps. So that's what I think is part of being a good teacher, is you can help people to find little steps to break a scary big thing down into smaller little chunks that are easier to digest. So go ahead, get out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, sell something, and let me know how you go. Yeah, and I'll see you next time. So this is Dunstan signing off from coming around to Tamarama Beach in Sydney, and just sitting on the edge. And if you're sitting on the edge, then yeah, are you gonna stay there or run away because you're scared, or are you gonna get out of your comfort zone and go for it? So up to you. I'll catch you later. Bye.